homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today it's April the 2nd. It's time to get our plant bed outside. Now, for those of you that follow the channel, you know that I bed plants in the spring. Around April the 1st is where I try to shoot for. Now, I always do plants that we grow and save seed from most of the time. But this year, was a tough year last year. I didn't lose any seed varieties, but some of them are a little short and need to be built back up. You know that I do Cherokee purple tomatoes, and in that bed outside, there are some plants that will go good to be bedded that way, and others that need to be grown right here on the homestead. So I'll do Cherokee purples out in the bed. That's a tomato, a purple tomato. Then I will also do, I save my seeds, like you can see right here. Here's Cherokee purple seeds. I save my seeds in plastic containers. Well, when I run out of these little plastic bags, because I don't keep a great big stock of them, I keep just enough. When I run out of these little plastic bags, I just use a regular standard envelope, seal it, and put what's on there. This is a pink Belgium tomato. It's a great big tomato. This is a heirloom variety as well as the Cherokee purple, which I've saved seed from. And I'm going to plant some of those this year because these seeds are going to be 5 years old, and I want to get seed back for these pink Belgiums. It's a large tomato, light red color. Will be huge. Can be 2.5 pounds. They're whoppers. I'll also, this is a little tomato called Delicious. This is the 5th year for it. I'm about out of seeds. I don't know if these seeds will come up. As a matter of fact, this is the 6th year. So these seeds may not come up, but I'm going to plant them in hopes that I get them back. Then our old favorite, one of our old favorites called Mortgage Lifter. I'm going to plant it. I'm short on my seeds because I planted Mortgage Lifters last year, but I didn't get to harvest any because I planted them here in the basement and I didn't get to put them out because I got sick. So I've just got, a few Mortgage Lifter seeds. Now we also have a red or a yellow called Golden Jubilee that we plant. It's also an heirloom variety. Again, the seeds are saved right here. You can see where I've opened them last year and planted some of them. They came up, but again, I didn't get to plant them. I hope these will come up this year. But there are other tomatoes that I'm going to do. I go at the end of the year when they're selling out their packages, and I buy them for a dime or a nickel or just whatever I can get. So this is a Brandywine tomato. I think I paid a dime for this package, normally $1.44, and it was packaged in 2017. So it's still good. If you look, there's a piece of paper on our website that you can go to on our Facebook page and look in the photos. There are gardening aids. There's a gardening aids album, and you can go to that and you'll see a picture that tells you how long these seeds are good for. So this is the Brandywine. It's also an heirloom tomato, so it'll be a good one to save. Now, there are some tomatoes that are not heirloom that we grow. Now, before I get to that, the other heirloom that we grow is a cherry tomato, Sweet 100. This one, as a matter of fact, came from a volunteer, and I keep those. Those volunteers that come back, if I like the way they put out, I keep them and use them from year to year. And that's the same tomato this is right here. Again, I paid a dime or maybe a nickel for that package. Let's see, Rutgers. Now, Rutgers can be a an heirloom tomato, but most of the time I buy the disease-resistant varieties if I find them in the packages. I bought these. We'll make a row or so. I think one of these packages for tomatoes, it doesn't say how many seeds there are, but there's enough seeds probably in here to do 50 or 60 tomato plants in each one. All of them won't germinate because these were for 12-16, so they're 4 years old. So they may not germinate at all. They came from 12-16, I just didn't put them in the ground. But if they don't germinate, what have I lost? Nothing. I paid a nickel a package or a dime maybe. Now the old standby, and I always buy fresh seed of these. Every year, I don't keep seed from them. They're now this variety right here that I've got, this is the regular variety, the one that you could save seed from. This is a Roma tomato, heirloom variety Roma. But I found that these are fairly easy to get vermiculum wilt and fusarium wilt, so I don't plant too many of these. Every now and then I'll plant a package or two, but it's always good to have some of these heirloom varieties hanging around because we're in a SHTF right now. Might need them later. And these were packaged in 2020, so these are brand new seeds. So they'll be good for the next 4 or 5 years, just in case. Now, the Roma tomato is what we plant the most of. We plant more Romas than anything else because this is our canning tomato. They're easy to can, they're easy to put up, and so that's what we plant the most. We will put 3 packages, maybe all 4 of these, but I'll probably just do 2 or 3 in the bed today, and then I'll hang on to 2 for later on if I need them. Because the truth is, these Romas, when I say later on if I need them, once the bed comes up about mid-May, I'll be planting these out in the garden. And if it didn't get enough of them, I'll just clean that bed up, put another thing in it, and plant another set. Okay, so to have another set, because these mature in 90 days, so that's 3 months. So if I plant a set now, and that's from seed now, 90 days. If I plant a set now, April the 1st, May, June, July, by the end of July, I've got tomatoes. But now, if I don't get enough to germinate, then June the 1st, I'll plant another bunch of these. Then I'll have June, July, August. By the end of August, I'll have another set of Roma tomatoes we'll can again. Now, there are some things that are going to get directly seeded in the field. Things like basil. Basil's going to get made a bed, and you'll see that as we go. Sometimes I buy basil seed, sometimes I save my own. 90% of the time I save my own, and sometimes I'll supplement. But now these are kind of old. These are from 2016, and these are from 2019. So I'll probably wind up sowing all 4 of these in a bed. What I won't sow in a bed. I'm going to do a video on how peppers germinate. Peppers are slow to germinate. Of course, we save peppers. I've got sweet banana peppers right here. But now these seeds are probably getting pretty old. I've had these for a few years. They may not germinate too well. So when they were selling out, I bought some. See, this one is 2019 and this one is 2018 and this one is 2019. So that'll give me enough pepper plants if these don't germinate. If not, I'll hang on to these. If these germinate fine, I'll hang on to these. Peppers are like that. Of course, last year I bought some pepper seeds from a person. That's where I prefer to get my seeds, from a person. I bought ancho peppers and ancho poblano peppers. I bought La Shower paprika peppers and Alma paprika peppers. I bought those online. I started them here in the basement, but I got sick and they didn't get watered for a week and they were gone. So we'll give those another shot this year. Keep the fingers crossed. And bell peppers. I'll grow some California Wonders, and then I've got some seeds that are not like this. They're from Save Seeds, from a variety, and I don't even remember the variety, but they're Save Seeds, and they're red and yellow and orange, and so peppers. But I have to start those in the basement. You can't start them out in the bed. It's just not warm enough yet. I could probably start them in the bed if I started them in June, but it's just as easy to start them here in the basement. That way, around mid-May, peppers like it hot. Around mid-May, they're ready to go. And finally, the two things, I'm going to plant eggplant. Where I got sick last year, I didn't save eggplant seed. So I had to go out and buy. I spent $1.89 this year. That's unusual for me. I spent $1.89 this year on eggplant seeds. Well, this is Black Beauty. Black Beauty is an heirloom seed variety, so I'll be able to save seed back from these. But these won't go in the bed. They have to be started here in the basement. Now, Crystal and I only plant 8 or 9 eggplants. That gives us all the eggplant that we want. We're not super fond of it, but it's nice to make a hamburger or something, a vegetarian hamburger with spring lettuce. It's kind of awesome. And finally, something that you have to have seeds for. These seeds go bad quick. This is parsnips. These are for 2020. These seeds tend to go bad, so we try and get those bought each year or saved. But again, we didn't get to save seeds last year, so I got to save some okra seeds and a couple of tomatoes, but not enough to worry about. So we'll plant some parsnips, but these have to be planted out. It's time. It's early enough that I could be planting those anytime. Okay, I'll see you out in the field setting the cold frame up. Got it set. Push this front down. Now that's going to sit just like that. Now what I want to do, I plowed all this dirt so it killed all the weeds. So now I want to add potting soil to the top of this and add at least a 2-inch layer. And what that'll do is it'll keep any weeds from competing with my plants. So let's get at that. I think one more. went overboard. Let's get a little out. Now, it's time to put our plants in. Got the bed ready. So all I'm going to do is, I showed you the varieties I'm going to plant, but I'm going to show you how to plant them. You plant them all the same. This whole bed is just for tomatoes. So I'm going to get these in the ground, but I'll show you how to do the first set. I'm going to start off with our old favorite Cherokee purples. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make sure that this is all good and level. Okay, I brought out all my stuff. Make sure that that's all good and level. And I'm going to decide how big a spot I want for those Cherokee purples. And all I'm going to do is I take a stick and I lay it in there, and it delineates. Now everything on the left of this is a Cherokee purple. And I put a CP here on the arm. So let's pull you down here where you can see a little better. Now everything there, everything over in here is going to be a Cherokee purple. So I'll just open the pack. Get some out in my hand. And just start distributing them. They are not going to be perfect, the distribution isn't. Some of them are going to come up right on top of one another. But when you see the way I distribute them, I do them in the garden, that'll make a difference. I need some more back at the back. I just kind of distribute these out so that there are not too many right on top of each other. And once I do that, then I just take some dirt from one of the other cells that hadn't been used yet. Just lightly toss a little dirt over there. And then smooth it out. Pat it down. That makes sure that the seeds are in good contact with the soil. Now I'm going to pull that out and make sure it stays visible. Yep. Left some. Just push them in. Now I'll do the whole bed that way. I've got Romas to do. I've got Cherokee purples done already. I've got to do mortgage lifters. That's probably the next one. And I'll get the whole bed done and I'll come back to you. There's my bed. Now in case you're wondering why I pull the tractor over, well, it's easy for an old man to get up and down. There's our bed. Starting on the left is Cherokee purples, then mortgage lifters, then Rutgers, then Brandywines, then Romas. It has the biggest plot in the Cherokee purples. And then red Tommy toes. And then the last one, there's pink Belgiums on the back and golden Jubilee in the front. Now let's get the cover on. Now, for the most part during the day, the cover will be off. We'll put the cover on at night, and then most of the time we'll take it off during the day, because if the sun shines on this glass for too long, it'll make it 200 degrees in there. So it's set. Okay, it's late in the afternoon. It's up a little bit so air can circulate. We won't get too hot. Now tomorrow morning I'll have to come out before 10 a.m. and get this cover off, because it's going to be in the 70s. I also need to water this evening at dark. So I'll come out here about dark and water it real good, and then it'll be ready to go. In somewhere mid-May, between mid-May and the 1st of June, we'll have plenty of tomato plants in this bed that we can harvest and put in our regular garden. That's all it takes to do a plant bed. We'll have to take the cover on and off. I'll have to come out here every day and tend it. But for that, what do I get? Well, it costs me $3 a bag for that potting soil. And that's the potting soil from Dollar General. And I think it might even say Dollar General on it. But anyway, it's the $3 a bag potting soil from Dollar General. So I've got $12 worth of potting soil invested. The window and the sides are going to last almost indefinitely. They'll last me 10, 12, 14 years. So I'm not even going to consider them in my cost here. Well, I've got the cost of the plants, cost of the seed. The seed probably cost me the sum total of about, I don't know, let's say $3. So if you do all that, I'm going to get about 400 plants. So I've got $12 in dirt and $3 worth of seeds. 12 plus 3 divided by $15 divided by 400 plants is about what I'm going to get out of that. That's 4 cents a plant. 0.0375, so 4 cents. 4 cents a plant to get all those tomato plants. Now, if you like this kind of stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of lifestyle, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. It all depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. We upload every Sunday. Now, if you ring the little bell, it'll notify you when we upload a video. So with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.